first segment, the gaming big news, right? The things that came up since the last time we recorded that were worthy of discussion. Starting with one of the things that I spent a little bit of time in the internet landscape of Forza Horizon coming to PS5. And no, y'all at Microsoft are not getting Gran Turismo in return. In fact, we're just going to keep that and get your superior racing game as well.
Yep.
And with that, the official floodgates have been open of like, look, the red lines things that Phil Spencer said, this is it, yo. This is the beginning of Xbox's multi-platform journey, the end of exclusivity for sure. But what are you guys' thoughts on, Forza being the first of the big ones going over to the Sony side? And the Nintendo Switch side, I'm assuming at some point.
Honestly, bro, that was a surprise to me because that really was, bro. I was like, yo. Honestly, bro, I mean, I've said this like I believe I said this last year. I do feel like the current market is transitioning back to how it was, where it was just Sony, Nintendo, and PC. I literally foresee Microsoft just fading away because it's like now you have nothing to leverage anymore. Like even the studios that they bought is like, yeah, all of those are coming multi-platform. So like, what was the purpose of this whole acquisition in the first place?
What was the purpose, right? So like, it backfired.
I mean, I'm happy Forza is available, especially with the whole cross-play format. And I do feel like maybe this opens up more opportunities for Sony to bring back some of their other races like Motorstorm. Because, add a different variety, man. I've always felt like Gran Turismo was that heavy technical simulator. Forza is that very foreign car, high racer, basically Fast and Furious.
No, it's a game for game's sake.
There's two versions. There's Forza, which will basically be on competition level with
Gran
Turismo. Thank you. And Forza is more like arcadey, more fun, more different tracks. So you have two different types because the other four, they don't play the same. The other one's way more loose, way more friendly, way more inviting, and it's still challenging at the same time. So yeah. So those are the two. That's the difference between those two. There is a difference.
I mean, like I said, bro, like it's just they're just withering away. Like they have nothing to really like
to leverage with.
You might as well just like. And it was so funny. It was like, oh, Xbox Showcase. Don't you mean the Xbox PlayStation Showcase?
Right. Don't you mean just a gaming direct at this point? Like, Xbox Direct.
That's basically what it is, bro.
It's done, man. It's done. Like, man, I like, because it's like, okay, what's the point? Well, what's the point of this library? Because it's just going to remain in this box.
I think the question you're asking does kind of tie into like the next topic, which they kind of blend together anyway. So I'll just bring it to the table right now. Of like you're saying, what's the point? And I've also wondered too. I'm like, what is it that Xbox? Because Phil Spencer is adamant, right? They've all said it. Like we're putting out another Xbox console. It's definitely happening. But it's kind of like, okay, cool. What's the incentive? What makes somebody say, I want to buy this Xbox? Like, yeah, I know Phil's saying, it's going to be obviously the top of the line of how to play this game, right? It'll have the specs to support it. But if it's all the games going to go multi-platform anyway, and we've seen with Nintendo sales that it's games like the game and the gameplay that automatically, that matter more so than the graphical fidelity at this point. What about the console itself? Do you guys feel is going to keep people buying an Xbox, if at all?
Nothing.
No, I mean, it's not going to sell. It's done. It's
done. When you really look at it, bro, I've said this before. Like, I feel like outside of Nintendo, I feel like when it's come to like Sony and Microsoft, I feel like they've hit a plateau. I mean, a gentle plateau.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I would agree with that entirely.
Like they've hit a certain pinnacle point in terms of hardware, where I feel like, bro, we are good for a while. We don't really have to like
keep pushing it,
overly invest into something more at this point. Like, just give us the games that you're telling me that could really tap into the powerhouse of this system? Because to be honest, bro, we still haven't reached that area yet.
Yeah.
To me,
no,
I agree. That's just personally how I feel, and it's not. And also, cause it also comes with other specs. You definitely need the proper TVs and all that other stuff. So my thing about it is, what is the sole purpose of all this new hardware? And you got to really understand the economics of the world with all the stuff that's going on in other countries in terms of mineral resources. Do you even want to put out another system where are you getting these resources from? And, it even goes back to, when we were talking about Stalker 2, there's a lot of economical stuff going on in the world, bro.
It's shifting at a very rapid rate.
That's why I kind of feel like Xbox is fizzling out, because when you really look at Sony and Nintendo, they were basically birthed from each other. And they have a strong presence in the East and the West that even when I first started the Xbox, like, okay, all right, we have a Western-based console. How is that really going to last over time? Like, it's done good. The 360 era was great, but you saw that momentum just started to fizzle down just a little bit. And then now I really feel like the economics of the situation, bro, is really showing.
Yeah, bro.
We're reverting. We are reverting back, bro. That's what we are doing.
Man. I'm kind of like I'm at a loss. I'm like, I don't know what the thing would be. And it does kind of seem like you said, Tim, like it's like we're slipping back of like, okay, you guys aren't maintaining ground. You're definitely not gaining ground. So what's happening? Like what are we doing right now? That's right. What are your thoughts on Big Phil and the future of the
for
box?
me, like, we had this discussion on the chat and it made a lot of sense. Like, I gave you $1 billion, Phil. I want him back. I want my $1 billion back next week. Well, we don't have until next week. This whole purchase was ideal off of us remaining independent. Nope. I want my money back. Fine, figure out a way. Figure out a way. And so now the way is to go multi-platform, and then hopefully release boxes in order and pray for a miracle that they start selling out of nowhere, which is not. It's not going to happen. You had the God of Destruction, Lord Beerus Don Matrick, do his damage, and we're still paying for it.
Yeah.
He killed Xbox. He killed Xbox.
Putting games on the back burner for a game console was like, I don't know how in a room of like board meetings, everyone's like, yeah, that seems like a plan. Like, how did this get
he realized how much power he did not have. They fired that man next week. So they were in a great position. I don't know. I haven't heard any commentary, but like Microsoft lost. So this is, Phil can pillow it however he likes to, but you don't make $1 billion investment only to go multi-platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like, bro, there's gonna be a big announcement of liquidating the studios. Like, who wants them?
Maybe not yet, but at some point, I could see that happening.
So now it's like, this company failed, man, and I can tell you exactly where it went wrong. Lord Don Matrick, the true God of the. No, because that's when the subscribers went to the PlayStation.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that's what I was saying when we talked about it. We talked about it in the chat. We talked about it in prior pods of like, it's like you're letting your one, granted, a big L, like a undeniable L. You're letting this L define who you are as a business at this point. It's like,
no, but
you have Game Pass, which is a win, right? Your cross save infrastructure is getting a lot better, a win. The backwards compatibility, a win, right? Like, you have these things that, like, I can see the vision. Let me say of like,
no, but how do you explain that to a Satya Nadella who doesn't understand or care? He's not going to wait until he's not going to give you time. If they were willing to wait to recoup the money back, Xbox would be in great standing. That's usually what happens with these companies. When Nintendo was going down, the CEO himself decided to cut half of his wages in order for his staff to get paid.
Because we know, unlike other companies, Nintendo kind of cares about their people.
Okay, so when it comes to matters of longevity, it all depends on the temperament of the individual. It's outside of his control.
I agree.
So he had the plan. We heard rumors of their Phil Spencer bumping heads with Satya Nadella. Hey, listen, I gave you $1 billion. You could leave gracefully.
We'll write a beautiful departure letter.
And
Microsoft's finest will be on it in terms of ghostwriting.
And then you feel me? And then I could see Phil,
weighing his options.
Weighing his options and quick flashes of the MAGA hat showing up. You feel me? Red Ribbon Aria.
He keeps typing to whom it may concern and pressing backspace. No.
No.
I hope this email finds you well. No.
Yeah, Phil was on his way to join the Red Ribbon Army, dog. You feel me? He's gonna join the Red Ribbon Army. Now I've been like, yo, man. So that's really what I'll be honest with you, that's really what we're watching right now. Because none of the movement forward makes sense. Right?
Let me ask
if that was the case, let us just if this purchase that we're making is only to go multiplat, let's save our money and just go multiplat anyway.
True.
They would have, you know what I'm saying? They would have just, but now it's only because they have to pay the money back right away.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so now he has no choice but to open the platform for everybody. The verbiage changes every other week.
Like we said last part, he's an unreliable narrator by default. Like it's not that he's lying, it's just that the truth changes.
The truth changes. And so now he's stuck. What can he do now?
Yeah.
What can he do? He has to deal with.
My what if question for you guys is two things, right? Let's say in this what if scenario that the next Xbox console has a user home base that makes it the most innovative ever for gamers to stream off of it, cut clips off of it, make content off of it, go live off of it, right? And it has its own version of a Wi-Fi hotspot. By just connecting to the electricity, your Xbox can serve as a mini router for you to play your games. Does that sell an Xbox?
I mean,
that probably would. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, content creation, yes, it checks some boxes, but I just also feel like, okay, you still need games coming in,
which they'll still have, right? I mean, Game Pass will still be around. The Xbox handheld will drop probably 2030, realistically speaking.
I feel like they're just going to give up exclusivity, but then it also kind of like it's a weird limbo. I would say it's a weird, like, all right, if you're really giving up your exclusivity, so it kind of is like, all right, this is just another system. But then it goes back to what you just said. Now your specs are going to have to be so like different for me to want to invest into this.
Yeah.
Like, what makes this a next level gaming console?
Okay.
And it goes back to like, what we said earlier, like a lot of stuff now is heavily social media based, like your Twitch streams, your gameplay reels and all that other stuff. So if this is truly where they're going, I mean, it's good, healthy competition, but then it's just kind of weird to see how long would that last though.
Okay. I'll say this is a great selling point. This is a good selling point. If they can eliminate the need for an external capture card device, that'll be.
I don't know if they could do that. Maybe better support for external capture card devices.
No, but if they could,
thing is, like,
if I could just capture my footage directly on my console or directly on an external hard drive.
Yes, an external hard drive would probably be the best.
That's what I mean.
That
makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
If I could,
yo, what's the matter?
Wait, what's the matter? What's going on? Oh, you don't want to invest in Elgato? Oh, you don't have to. You can now capture your gameplay directly on the Xbox on an external hard drive. 30 hours of your gameplay, boom, saved it, and then organization on your files.
Go quick, bro.
Huh?
30 hours, that'll go quick, bro.
Oh yeah, of course. But at least of course. But at least you would have it.
Yeah. But at least you gotta understand. At least you have the option to.
Yeah.
You know, so that right there would be the investment part. On the other hand, now that'll beat me buying what you call a PC. Now, bro, I don't really have to if I don't want to. And my libraries, I could just go. Now that would be perfect.
I don't have to have 40 wires running from my console to
40 wires running through my console. See, that solves a problem, right? Now that's actually a very good pitch. That'll probably be a selling point, right? Now you can get the entertainment media format that Don Matrick wanted to have.
In a way that makes sense for gamers. Yeah.
That'll be a plus. Oh man, what's that? You want to upload directly to YouTube and Twitch? You can stream simultaneously. Boom. That'll be perfect.
Yeah.
That'll be perfect. And guess what? If you don't want to purchase this next installment, we have an upgradable drive that we'll sell separately coming later.
That will
you
help
upgrade your drive,
cloud, our cloud gaming. Yeah.
You feel me? Okay, you want more graphics? You don't really want to quite upgrade yet? You don't want to do a PC? Buy this little component, attach it to the back, boom. There goes your N64 graphics card right there. You know what I'm saying?
These are not bad. That's why I like, let me ask, like, because these are things that, like, if I had it for a PS5, I'd be like, oh, Sony.
And what's that?
Okay.
Okay, listen, we're not selling disc anymore. We do sell solid state disc as games. Boom. We're the only company to do it. We're compatible with working with ScanDisc, we're working with Black, we're working with this to get your version of the game on a solid state disc. Boom. That way you have physical media. We won't push it, but you don't need to go digital if you don't want to. Save space. I don't mind having a whole bunch of memory cards that'll fit in a wallet. So I don't. I don't, especially if it's physical media, it's mine. Right? That makes more sense than having a CD, which can't, for the reasons why we have the updates, they can't store all that information on there.
Right. Which is
the only reason.
Which is crazy. When you think about the capacity of a Blu-ray and the fact that they're like, we still didn't have it. It's like,
no. They don't. What? They don't want to.
Oh, okay.
They don't want to.
I'm like, fam.
They already have.
When they broke down how the Blu-ray works, I'm like, there's gigs on gigs on gigs of space on those things.
They can subscribe, they can transcribe information on glass now. The thing is, we don't have a laser that reads fast enough.
I gotcha.
That's
so like
the
frame
problem.
wise, it gets a little okay. That makes sense.
It can't. We would need a hydrogen collider inside our systems. Do you want to play Xbox with a hazmat suit on?
You say a little nuclear reactor comes with every purchase. You just
literally the first Xbox
when put it outside like a septic tank.
Doom. I don't want to play my game submerged underwater with a CO2 tank in a hyperbolic. I don't want to do that, but I mean that's technically what's happening.
Reach for your Xbox fridge.
But I personally don't think physical media will go away because the government wouldn't even get rid of physical media.
Well, it might because of the government.
No, it is. It is. No. You won't have it. You won't have it.
The way them terrorists is looking.
It's a half and half because I do realize they are trying to get rid of like cyber waste out there.
Yes.
So
cyber waste.
So I do feel like they'll diversify their methods. It
only makes sense.
They'll give you the option, but I do feel like they are going to push digital a bit more,
which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine because honestly, for me, when I made the transfer, it worked out perfectly for me, and I really see it's starting to really work out for others because it's a bit more convenient when I should say, because especially like when you have the upload times, like when it reaches midnight, even like bro, like digital releases, like that changed the whole culture, bro. Remember, I used to work at GameStop. I used to see them people pile outside for their midnight copy, bro. Like that has changed an entire culture.
Yeah, I'd say in some good ways, in some ways bad. I think not to get too deep, but I think like we definitely lost a lot of the social aspect of things. With like there is something to be said about showing up with mutual-minded people to get a game.
We lost some physical, but then we've also like did like a direct exchange for a more digital presence. Like for example, let's just say if we're in a party like talking on our mics. Everybody's waiting for this particular thing to download at the time. So you're talking with your boys and stuff like that, video chatting. Oh, we up now? Okay, let's go to the lobby. Straight to the lobby.
True. That is true. The midnight release hits different on the digital era for sure. Okay,
and,
I mean,
like Joy, for example, he always ordering, Uber Eats, Instacart. Oh yeah, my food just arrived.
I'm ready.
And we're all just here, just waiting, for a particular release to come, for all the gigabytes to load up. So it just, a lot of things have changed, man. And I do feel like, whatever comes next with this system, it has to make sense, or else you're just dead in the water.
Yeah. To me, like I said, because we can move on to this, but I think in closing, like, I think if there's a way they can make it more gamer friendly, of like, maybe it still won't compare to a PC setup, but here is a simple, you don't got to think about it too much way to set up your gaming hub for streaming and doing this and cutting clips and stuff like that. I think that would give them a leg. It doesn't bring Xbox back into the fold in terms of console selling, but I think it gives them a thing for an edge. Yes, for sure. Right. Because again, I tell Jory all the time, I like it. Boy, if there's one thing I envy y'all for, is that Game Pass. Because these games are too expensive. If I could just pay a fee per month and download whatever I want.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be let's see how they do it, man. Let's see how they do it, because unless they do this generation of games goes exclusive, and then Microsoft slowly starts to bring back exclusivity for certain things.
I think we'll get exclusive perks, but I don't think we're getting exclusive games from them anytime soon.
Yeah,
they'll give you certain things that like you'll benefit, right? Like how we get all these Marvel games where, like, if you're a PlayStation user, you get a certain type of Spider-Man skin or whatever.
Yeah,
it's Sony. I think Xbox will still have stuff like that, where like, here's this thing that only Xbox people have access to, but it'll still be multiplat.
Yeah, you bought Sega to become Sega. You lost.
Yeah.
You lost. You didn't achieve your goal. I mean, yeah, there was a change of plans, and but it's really that, man. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, only a man intending to build a video game company can do things for a video game company. If you join a tech software company, the visions they're not built off of the same things, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Microsoft doesn't care.
Yeah, and we're seeing
it's clashing.
Yeah,
and it did clash.
Yeah.
It did clash. Like, look, Sarah Bond was in charge, and then now she,
we ain't seen her in months. Since that
so
one interview, we ain't seen her we seen emails. That's it.
So it's definitely something going on, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we hear Matt Booty's not leaving. He's not leaving. He'll play his role. He's a company man.
That's funny.
Probably crossing his fingers. Phil, you said you don't want that chair. You still want that mug?
Right.
Phil, you still want? You know what I'm saying? Phil probably is like, you know what, man? Maybe it's time to, if.
I don't think so. At least not for the next couple of years. I think we'll see. It depends on how things play out. I think like we were saying last week, he's kind of more of like the spokesperson in the most respectful way possible. Like, he's a spokesperson for some of these bigger decisions.
Hey, man.
And people are starting to catch on, like, all right, this is not on you the way we thought it was.
Yeah, secretly, I'm hoping he turns into Professor Hamilton and he's building his Galatea with Supergirl's DNA. No, I'm hoping so. You feel me? He joined Cadmus. You feel me? Because Justice League getting too, you know what I'm saying? They got that giant space gun in the sky, bro. So.
Well, I guess to move the conversation to their, other big name, right? That's this is more of a big gaming news that's supposed to be a rumor, but usually these rumors tend to have some validity to it. Sony is supposed to have some type of showcase next week, as of this recording. There's nothing confirmed as of yet. Right. Nothing confirmed as of yet, but Sony doesn't do the best job of hyping up their showcases either. So that's why I think there's a lot more it seems a little more legit of like, well, they never roll these out. So it could be a thing. But assuming that it is there anything that you guys are expecting to see other than movie trailers? That was my first thought of like, you guys have announced Last of Us Season 2 next month. We're getting a Beyond Two Souls TV adaptation for some odd reason. Like, I think, other than the Sony live action properties, taking up most of the showcase, what are you guys expecting, if anything?
Like Jory said, I do believe it would probably be something Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima. What's the other property that they have?
Nothing for Wolverine?
Honestly, bro, that's too ambitious, bro. I don't know. Insomniac is in a very weird place, bro.
Yeah, I feel like Wolverine went back to the drawing board, low key.
Yeah, I think so, man. Because I feel like whatever happened with that leak and all this live service stuff falling apart, I think a lot of stuff have just been pushed back.
The fact that the Insomniac head guy retired, people have stepped away. Like it's they're not saying it, but I'm like, okay.
Like, I mean, look what happened with Spider-Man 2. We was asking about, the follow-up DLC for so long. They kept saying, oh, we have nothing to report now. Oh, here comes this PC trailer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys, that's it.
That's it.
It's like, bro, you could have just said that. You could have just said that.
Right. Let me mourn.
That's where we are. That's honestly where we are.
So 3 games for a showcase, bro? That's it?
I mean, honestly, bro, we will never know. I mean, until Sony does have some good surprises, though. I go back to my statement that we said before the end of the year. I just want to see what all these other studios have been producing or what's within them. Because Sony is really taking their exclusivity very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we heard some rumors here and there about certain things being canceled. But then, even minus those, you still got like 5 to 6 other studios that I would like to see what are they producing. Because honestly, bro, yeah, this PS5, like how Joey said, it's just the remastered system. Like, I want something new.
Yeah. I'll take a sequel at this point. So give me something, please. Something where it's not a upscale version of a existing story element. For me, outside of Ghost of Tsushima gameplay, maybe I don't know what else they could throw out that would really get people hype, right? Like even Naughty Dog's thing, like this game has been in development for 5 years already. You had no gameplay to show at the Game Awards. Are we gonna get gameplay at the showcase? Like what exactly? It's like a shrug of like, who knows of like what to expect and what 2023 again, we all kind of agree was a great year for gaming releases, just getting banger after banger after banger after banger. But given what's been happening with the gaming industry, it's kind of just like Xbox had a great showcase overall in terms of like things coming out. But I'm like, what PlayStation announced at this point that has a release date of this year, other than Ghost of Tsushima? Is it a 10-minute Ghost of Tsushima trailer? Like what is there to
I mean, that would work, but it wouldn't work at the same time.
It would work. Maybe some exclusive what's it called? What's that game that we're all kind of excited about? The one S-Rank that you said was being made by one person that made the cell phone game.
Phantom Blade Zero.
Maybe some exclusive Phantom Blade Zero gameplay, maybe.
I mean, they're gonna have something third party for sure. Maybe something Helldivers, like at least this looks like the one live service property that is constantly going. So maybe new skins, a new expansion, or something like that, or maybe just maybe like a teaser of the third part of Final Fantasy, because there's been news about that hyping up recently as well.
It's soon though.
You never know, bro. You just never know.
That kind of feels like a summer
Final Fantasy
what? Part 3.
Final Fantasy Part 3. That would be nice to see. A teaser. I think a teaser is due.
I feel like a Summer Games Direct type announcement though, not February. Like
I mean, what we see now, bro, is going to basically showcase what the summer and what the spring and summer is going to hold. So I mean, they need to have something. So yeah. I do feel like this is going to be, a good border range to see, like, all right, what am I really expecting?
We got a lot of games from Asia that's coming out, so that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, but
that's also another thing. Remember, we also got to keep that mindset about log on to your system, look and see what is coming into the store, because new stuff is coming in. Now, it may not be these blockbusters, but yes, these AA games, some of them are actually pretty good.
Yeah, so it's like, I would like to see more of that's marketing push a little bit though, right? Like, would it kill Sony to do like a little indie section real quick to show
honestly,
some?
Bro, that's the thing, bro. They've switched, because I remember they were really focused on that, their PS3 and PS4. Yeah. But then after a while, they just started to go to like, no, if it's not these updated graphics, this extra 25%. It's like, what is the purpose?
One way or another, the division of Don Matrick infiltrated Sony. Because right now they said, they released a statement. We plan to make every video game connected to a cinema universe.
We could tell.
So now I'm playing a movie game versus a game. I just want to play a game. Now y'all gonna make the games movies.
I think we'll still have both, right? I think like it would, given how much they've kind of stubborn their way into the predicament they're in right now. I think the success of Astrobot was like that cold water to the face of like, not everything needs to be grounded in reality. Like, we still need the fantastical games.
To be honest with you, the way I feel like these guys received it is, well, that actually worked. Well, let's use this to make another one for us, but not. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's not. It didn't touch. It didn't.
Astro Fortnite.
Yeah, it didn't strike. It didn't touch. Sony's not even parading it. They released a couple of statements. Oh, okay, yeah, that's great. Hey, you don't see. Hey, let's see what we can do with Knack. Hey, Jack and Dexter. Maybe not Jack and Dexter, maybe a successor. Let's try something new, but somewhat of the same world.
Right.
Let's bring back something familiar and do it new. Maybe not Ratchet and Clank, but a successor to Ratchet and Clank. This would be the perfect time to have a soft reboot, a new launch, new vision, new direction of games that are AA, not quite as expensive, stylistic, but repeated fun. Like Spyro the Dragon. Nobody gets tired of playing those first stages. They just don't, right? Because they're done so well, just like people playing Mario and XYZ, and like people. I still play Super Mario to this day, right? So it's that Sonic. Look at the repetitiveness, but it's a fun formula that works because they centered it around the fun factor. I don't see that push. I see Concord. You spent how much money on Concord? You're fired. That's the energy I'm seeing. And so,
yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's like, it's one of those things where it's like there'll be the basis of a good idea, and it immediately jumps to, but how can we make even more money? Of like, I think you're absolutely right. Of like, we're kind of skipping over the is this game fun part. Like,
no, does it make money? Does it make us money?
Because when it comes to Sony, I feel like, especially with this console generation, they've been plagued by three things. All right, first was the pandemic. So, like, it was hard to really get a system, so like to get things brewing up. But then the next plight it was just a bunch of remasters, bro. Like, they were just doing too much of, here's an upscale, resell it. And then the biggest blow was their whole live service plan, their Marvel movie plan just blew up in their face. And then now, I kind of feel like under the table, they're trying to regulate things and say, hey, we need to just scrap all of this and come up with something new before June. And then now they're also entered, like how you just said, the cinematic universe where, oh, you want an animation? Okay, here it is. If you want a movie, here's that too. So it's kind of like they're being pulled in so many directions where, like, I am actually kind of scared for them. Like, so, whatever this state of play is, it's going to have to be something of good faith. It really is.
Okay. Kind of like what they do when we see it.
Honestly, bro, we're solely relying on Ghost of Yote is not going to do it. I'm looking forward to the game, but it's like you cannot rely on just this one property.
No way. In no world does one single player game get it done for the year. Not named Grand Theft Auto. Like, none of them could do it. Not Nintendo, not Xbox, none of them. We're dropping one big game and that's it.
Nintendo just don't care.
They don't care, but they winning, bro. I didn't throw it as a topic. We don't really have to cover it, but they started releasing some of their numbers of what some of their games have sold just in strictly physical sales. And it will blow Mario Kart 8 alone. I'm like, no wonder it was no rush to do 9. I think that, and obviously we're recording this, we're not like fact checking. I think they said Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, just the Deluxe edition, not the standard. The Deluxe edition did like 8.6 million copies sold. Physical.
Wow.
I wouldn't care either. Yeah, it's 720p and runs at a questionable 30 frames per second. What you gonna do?
Play it.
Play it. You gonna set up to that 4K TV and play it anyway?
Play it anyway. But yeah, I mean, we'll see, bro. We'll definitely see. Because they're probably just gonna like launch the date on a blog. Oh yeah, this weekend. Look forward to this upcoming Tuesday.
Bro, they're announcing the promotions are the jankiest things ever. Like, you guys are a multi-billion-dollar company. Why are we getting like a Twitter post on your next big showcase for your gaming division?
No, but honestly, bro, that's how it's been working. Remember when we was hyped up for Mortal Kombat, bro? You just saw that YouTube notification come up.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true. Like sometimes that can bring
that's the power of the email and the subscribe down, bro. They don't really have to. You could just do that little shadow drop. Okay, make it go live right now. People would literally hide in the work closet just to watch something.
For real. About to be constipated for the next 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long this showcase is. And I guess one last quick Sony topic before we move on. Granted, it's completely a rumor. It's not really based in anything. We don't even know if it correlates with one another. But apparently, Sony is looking to hire some Middle Eastern motion capture actors. So that got people to thinking that there might be a God of War Egypt on the horizon.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think because they already did Egypt. It was a prequel. It was a prequel comic between the Greek and the Norse, but then it was done very well. I was like, he doesn't need to do an entire adventure. Maybe it's going to be a spiritual successor of something of that nature. In that particular pantheon, I would take that over another Kratos story. But no, bro, like the way the comic handled that, I was like, yeah, he doesn't need to go.
But as we know, Tim, from both Mortal Kombat and Injustice, comics count except when they don't, right? Except they're canon until they decide that they're not canon. Yeah. So it's hard to say that the comic, as well done as it is, that they'll actually even pull from it. I guess my question,
they don't even respect it from movies.
They don't at all. My question for you guys is that would you want it to go to Egypt or someplace like Asia, right? Would you want to see?
No, but my thing about that, it has to make sense because you could tell from like the way his character arc ended after he went to therapy. It's just he's gonna settle for. He's gonna look forward to his new life in where he is. You could tell there's a bit of a post-trauma romance with.
It's done, bro. Just let him alone,
and let it be done. Because
like
even when they announced that this is not going to be a trilogy, I was okay with that. Because to be honest, bro, you don't have to overstay your welcome. Like it does not, like even like how we see with the movies, these double, triple trilogies. Sometimes, bro, they just don't work. So okay, we went to this new area.
Sometimes.
The first one was solid. The second one was a nice one. Better combat mechanics, and I feel like the story ended in a very genuine, open-ended way.
A little bit rushed, but I agree.
Yeah, the Valhalla DLC, especially when you listen to the dialogue. The dialogue was the important part of.
The Ragnarok part definitely happened off screen, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the dialogue parts helped me. I was like, okay, this is a good set off for Kratos, especially that final scene where he took a look at himself in the chair. It's like, okay, bro, wash your hands with this. You don't have to do anymore. No more.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to ask it real quick. I'm like, it's interesting. I'm like, at the same time, I'm good.
I don't want to see. I just don't want to see this version, this Kratos. To be honest with you, it's just not going to be interesting to me.
I don't want multiverse Kratos.
Yes, he doesn't want multiverse
I don't want. Can we please just end the multiverse of everything? We don't need
like tell a new story. If you're gonna do God of War, like do it like Final Fantasy. Then, every a new story.
Every region has their own.
Every region have their own Kratos. You feel me? Do it like that. You know what I'm saying? You want my money? If we're gonna do Egypt, make sure the brother is February color. You feel me?
That's true. Because remember, look at that last Prince of Persia, he wasn't the prince, but look at the design and the mythology and the type of creatures. You don't have to call it. I would say this: you don't have to call it God of War.
Yes,
but you can tell.
I mean, you kind of do. You kind of.
So you have to call it God of War. No, call it God of War.
Yeah.
Or you could do something like how they did with Ghost.
Yes, a subname. Yes, for sure.
You could do something that you could tell it's an intertwined type of property, but it doesn't have to solely connect.
Right. Him or her, whoever the main protagonist is, him and Kratos' past will never have to cross necessarily for this game to work.
They don't.
Yeah, because my thing is like, because for me, the only I was okay with Kratos being a force. Sometimes I like my characters just being a force. I don't really want my characters to be they can be deep. Huh? Human? No, I mean, what does it mean to be human? Some people are a force, right? Like a Mike Tyson.
To be honest, I did enjoy Norse versions of Kratos. Like I said, it was the dialogue of when he was on the journey with Atreus. You could tell, he knows how to harness that brutality, but he also knows, all right, I was tripping back in the day. I was
wilding back in the day.
I mean, especially when he lost the Ghost of Tsushima again.
That is, like I said, it was the dialogue, bro.
Yeah, but we forget he had a family first already.
But then, bro, like I said, it was his second chance. It was his second chance, and that's what the story was about. It's his second chance at something, and he wants to do things better. And then I also didn't like the fact that another wife is dead. But okay, whatever.
Yeah,
but it was the simple fact.
It speaks to George's critiques of Sony PlayStation games.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good, man. I really enjoyed it. And one thing I also like about when Pantheons cross is that you can tell they know about each other. Because when Baldur first met him, it was like, oh, you're a long way from home.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You could tell, because you've also seen that in other material as well. They don't like people in their realms from other places.
And they said it as much as these gods all exist within their own respective realms. It's just one big connected world in terms of, the Egyptian gods and the Asian gods. They all exist within the God of War universe, technically.
Yeah. And then, even when he met Odin, when they pulled up to the house, it was like, all right, we understand last game, things got a little crazy. But we're willing to just
let bygones be bygones. Heard what you did to your dad. Respect, but not looking for
under these terms, you can move forward. But then, of course,
it could just be a friendly fade.
It was good to me. And I feel like, those two installments was a good send-off, and let it be done.
Yeah.
I would like to see Sony Santa Monica do something else other than God of War and MLB.
I think they want to do something else.
Let them do something else, man.
Yeah, I think they want to because they have two different studios. So I think there's a Santa Monica division that's working on a like new IP. That's the rumor, at least, that they're working on something completely unrelated to God of War.
To be honest with you, I like my God of War 3 Kratos, my God of War 2 and God of War 1 Kratos. The mayhem. That's my favorite.
It has its place. I think I've always said I think there's room for both. I think you got two PSP games.
MLB is by San Diego Studio, not Santa Monica.
Yeah, it's not Santa Monica.
But Santa Monica does have two studios, though. They do. They have. I can't remember the names right now. But yeah, I think it'd be nice to see them do something different. at this point. Like I think, like y'all said, like if God of War kind of goes on like a mini hiatus for the next couple of years, I'm cool with it. Like I don't need another Kratos before this console generation is over.
It's time for some. We've said this. It's time for them to start experimenting with something new, man. Because to be honest, bro, I felt like this last Ratchet done. Just like I'm good. Like I feel like we've done enough with Ratchet. I do feel like people have been saying give us a proper Jack 4 and one more Sly and just end it and move on to something else. And then that's where I kind of felt like, if Astrobot is technically a spiritual successor to Little Big Planet, you guys did the job done. You got it done in a very proper way.
But it's up to them to see that, right? Because that's the thing that we talk about a lot on this podcast of like, these are these simple things that you just got to connect the dots. And they're just like, nope, I don't think I will. I'm just going to veer left because this seems like the path to more money.
And, we've seen this, especially, when it comes to like, there's a lot of interference from the parent companies, bro. Because honestly, bro, I feel like WB sabotaged NetherRealm.
Yes.
Boy.
Yes.
They sabotaged NetherRealm. They sabotaged Rocksteady. Because I was like, there's no way this is the same Rocksteady.
Yes.
Because it's not. That's how much they sabotaged it.
It's not the same Rocksteady. It's not the same Santa Monica. It's not going to be the same Spider-Man studio. These guys are leaving. I'm going to do my own thing.
Or retire. From the gaming industry.
Yeah, and do
that's
something else.
I couldn't get past. Yeah,
like I'm gonna make toilets like the creators of Mass Effect. Like, I'm out of here, man. You saw the IP.
Jeez. But speaking of companies trying to save their IP, right, and coming together like Captain Planet to make one last push, EA announced this week that they are bringing together 4 studios and you, the player, as Heart, right? Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, and Heart to try to bring back Battlefields between a mixture of play testing and development. And we're all fans of Battlefield here, I believe, right? Like I know Tim is, I know I am. I think I'm actually disappointed how much they kind of fell off the cliff.
I stopped off the Battlefield 1, but I kept up with the series.
No, right. I'm saying like we liked the formula in terms of a Call of Duty clasher, essentially. So I guess my question is like, do you guys feel like
this was the pinnacle?
Bro,
the pinnacle. There was the pinnacle of game. Like life was good.
I put so much hours into that. I was so upset with myself that I only had 2 trophies left for the platinum, and I just could not get them.
Life was good. You want to know why? Because you had people, developers that were passionate about and knew about that area.
No, that area of DICE
of gaming, and so they were involved. They weren't necessarily worried about the CEO getting involved because the CEO was exactly just like them.
Yes.
So, it wasn't someone from sales and merchandising from Macy's. Well, these numbers look good. Let me go with this. Like, you can't see why this is. No, it's selling. That means it works. Like, no, it's selling because we're in a pandemic and people have no choice but to, no. This is the new wave. Like, you have bad people who don't really understand the product of what they're selling. And so, there you go. We're not going to get, because we don't even have those caliber of people anymore. Like, those guys are not your, those guys that made.
I would say, like, I feel like we do. I just, and that's why I wanted to ask. Like, I do feel like that's probably why they brought all 4 studios together. Like, okay, between these 4 companies, I'm sure we have enough creatives here to get this done. My question to y'all is, will it get done?
I feel like that. All right, they should not get caught up in the Hollywood economics of becoming a blockbuster. I feel like that's what hurt. Because, like, all right, first of all, I feel like what really hurt DICE reputation was the Star Wars era, like of how they handled Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
That's not on the gamers. That was them.
Yeah, no. I mean them. Like I'm talking about. Okay. And after a while, Battlefield 1 did really good. Till this day, people are heavy in the streams. It's just like Battlefield 5, and then this ultra modern warfare that they tried to do. And I think that's also the the drawback of military shooters, bro. But when you're trying to stick to a particular time period, things get a bit wonky.
Right.
It's like after a while, it's like, how many times are we going to do this? And that's where, like, I kind of felt like, fantasy shooters actually have a better place to an extent. Like, to be honest, like, bro, as I said, Resistance, Killzone, these are something that you don't have to really keep thinking about what's the next installment. Like, if this one is solid enough, this one can ride you out the entire console cycle.
Especially nowadays, yeah.
But when it comes to like real time based military shooters, man, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So I mean, I'm trying to see, like, hopefully they bring out something. It's definitely going to push the power of the system.
Oh,
I'll give them that.
Collapsible stuff out the gate. I'm like, okay, Battlefield 3 energy. Okay, I'm not mad at it.
They need to hire the riders from Zero Dark 30, 13 hours. The all seasons of 24 for that thing to pop. They got to. You gotta go. No, because the thing is, right? As much as people like, you got those. I don't care about the story. I just want to play multiplayer. You got the jarheads. It's okay. You're gonna have them. But then, let's get some people that want to do a story. But then the thing is, people can't enjoy it because people spoil it. XYZ.
I mean, it's a military shooter. What
military shooter?
Yeah.
How deep are you really gonna get? Like
no. But I guess I forgot what I was trying to say. The point I
would also say this. I do feel like, well, for me, and this is personally for me, like the war in Palestine really kind of like hurt my views about military shooters. Like, I kind of don't see myself playing as these people anymore when you really look at it. And I know that's personally on me, and I take this, and that I own my own feelings, but it's just, I kind of just lost taste for that. So that's why, like I said, fantasy world shooters I can connect with, because like I said, bro, one of my best experiences was Resistance 3. And so, like, in terms of this right here, like, kind of piggybacks on what Joy said, like, what is the story going to be? It's going to be another terrorist-esque fiasco, post-apocalyptic, Fast and the Furious. If you don't stop this satellite in 5 minutes, the world is going to get microwaved.
I mean, if I'm be honest with you, I know a lot of people hate Black Ops 3, but that story was fire.
But that's all, like, the thing that I'm kind of questioning of, like, are we hoping that the story for Battlefield gets it done? Like,
no, I'm hoping the gameplay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's on, like, it's
everything.
It's almost like secondary. Like
it's no, but it's everything. It's everything. It's everything. Because the thing, it's everything. That's all. It just has to be everything. Because the thing is, right? The Star Wars Battlefront should be being played to this day, but it's not.
It is. But not the way it should be. I get what you're trying to say.
Not the way it should be.
Not the way it should be, but it is getting played.
Because the original Battlefront 3 that we saw, the leaks of what they was doing, they didn't show any of that energy. And because that's what these CEOs get in the way, man.
Because the Battlefront games got caught up in the Hollywoodness of the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, you could play as Finn and Rey and Kylo Ren. And that's where I kind of felt like, bro, like,
for the low price of a microtransaction.
Like, please, EA, don't try to attach this to nothing.
I don't think they will. I think the reports that have come out with them, especially that now that their sports games aren't selling the way they used to, I think it's like that, like, y'all, these practices you guys have been using for the past 15 years are not working anymore. Like, we're starting to see these gaming companies of, like, Ubisoft included, like, you guys have literally been doing the same thing for the past 10 years because it's worked. I get it, but you have not innovated enough now that things have caught up and surpassed you don't know what to do. You're literally throwing things at the wall. And for what we're seeing, with Ubisoft about Assassin's Creed, apparently Shadows is probably not going to get it done. So
no, it's not.
It's not going to get it done.
Mirage,
that game is
Mirage just came and gone, and it was like, bro, there was like nothing.
This is the true successor of the not the Prince of Persia, but the Assassin's Creed you always wanted. After 44 installments, I don't care. Like, yo, like, dog, y'all killed y'all milked yourselves into, and then the one shot y'all had to make an Assassin's Creed movie to be good, y'all do nothing with it. Y'all have Michael Fat.
During the era of Ezio, you hire Michael Fassbender, who's an amazing actor, but not in coincidence with what we're trying to do with the games.
Pedro Pascal would have been a good pick, right?
Oh, by the way,
1000%.
But guess, by
the way, because you know I always gotta give them their credit. No Man's Skies has released another update.
This guy funny, man.
The power of seeing it through.